Hello guys, welcome to Coding Techniques. So if you want to set up a new project, you can click on the I button and set up the whole project from there. Okay, so I've already set up a new project and let's start with our code now. I've already created one, so I'll just open up my project and run Ionic serve. I have cleaned up my homepage HTML. As you can see, no code is written out here. I've cleaned this up. Let's see what we get in our Ionic serve. Now you can see that it has opened up in our browser. I'll just inspect it up and we can see a blank page, right? Because we haven't done anything out there yet. But now let's design it from the scratch. So we'll open our code and I'll simply type Ion content full screen true so that we can use the full screen. Within our Ion content, I'm going to have an Ion list, and this list, within that we'll have an Ion list header where we are going to show our logo. Okay, but out here as I'm using only text, so like the earlier video, I'll be using Ion label, and within my Ion label I'll simply pass logo. Now I'll center it up. For that I need to pass a class Ion text center. Let's see the output. You can see that it is coming up but not at the center. Why? Let's just check it out. Let's save it once again. It is coming up in the center. Let's change the color to dark. I think it is still black, but I want to use the color dark. And to my Ion list, I don't need any lines between the Ion items, so I'll pass lines as none. Okay, now we need an Ion item, and this item, within that item we will be having, within this Ion item I am going to have an Ion input, and this input will have a placeholder called enter email. Okay, and the type we can give it as text to be on the safe side. Let's check it out. Oops, it is placeholder, not placeholder. Okay, let's check it now after saving it again. Okay, we can see that the Ion input is showing up. Now let's work on it a little bit. What we are going to do? We are going to provide some margin to it. Ion input, Ion item. Let's give the color to be dark. I want the background to be darker. And let's give an Ion margin vertical. Vertically I want some margin. Okay. And to our Ion list, out here also I'll give class equals to Ion margin. And the color of our Ion label, let's give it not dark, let's place it, let's put it a light color at the back. Let's give it the color of light. This is little lighter grayish type color. Okay. Now let's check the output again. We can see a black background for the Ion input, and it is pretty lighter. We'll see this once we have the background of our Ion content to be darker one. So let's apply that now. Let's go to our home page SCSS and pass on the Ion content. Now within our Ion content, what we are going to do? Now to our Ion content, I'll give the color to be a darker one. Let's try with a dark color. When we apply it in this manner, let's see. We can give some background. Okay, now it's coming up. We can see that the background is darker now. Now what is the next step which we need to apply? I think we need to make our Ion list, the background to be transparent. Let's work on it. So this time I have done little different manner. I have applied the background to my Ion content in a different manner, as you have seen already. So that is one of the good learning. So what I'm going to do, give a background of transparent to my Ion list. Let's see now. Okay, great. It's coming up. Now what is the next step? I'll just transform to the Y direction. Let's see. Y direction. See 10 pH so that we can have some padding at the top portion, and we'll start from that after 10 pH only. So we'll have some margin out here, as you can see out here, right? Okay, what is the next step now? Let's work on the Ion list header. Let's define that first, then we'll work on some other things also. So the iron list header, I'll apply margin bottom of 5 VH. Then we'll have a letter spacing, as I've already shown you in my last video. What is letter spacing, how it works to keep the spacing between the letters. Then within our iron list header, I'm going to work on the iron label. You can pass on the image also out here instead of iron label and work around on it as you like. Font weight bold, font size to be bigger one, say 3 rem, and the font family will be Cambria. Okay, let's see the output again. Great, this is coming up nicely. Now the background is, I don't want this background, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the Ionic framework docs and create a new color from there. How we can do that? I will go to themes, scroll down, and this is the color generator. So no, not this one. Go to colors. This is the color generator. I'll pass on, say, fully dark color, so full dark. Okay, and the value is gonna be 0000000, fully dark. This is the color I'm looking for. So I'll just copy it up and I'm going to open up my variable.css, and out here I'll simply paste it up. Okay, this is the extra, remove it. Now we can access this full dark color directly in our home page. I'll write here full dark. Let's check the output now. Great, you can see some difference between the two colors. Earlier it was the same color, so the difference was not been seen. Now it looks pretty nice. Now let's work on the design again. So what next we are going to do? We need one more iron input, but before moving to the another input, we will have an iron icon, because according to the design we need an icon out here, isn't it? So the design, the icon name will be mail outline, and the slot will be at the start, and the color will be white, which I have already created. You can see in my variable.scss. If you are looking for some other color, you can create it from the Ionic docs, which I have already shown you up. Okay, you can write here white and generate a new color for that. I've already done that. You can see in my variable.scss I have this white color created, right, whose value is FFFFF, and out here also I've declared it up, and simply I'm using it everywhere. Okay, let's move on. Let's see the output now. Now you can see the iron icon is showing up nicely. Let's copy the whole item and paste it once again, changing it to password. Type will be password. Okay, and this iron icon value will be lock closed outline. You can check this iron icons from ionicons.com. Whichever icon you are supposed to show it up there, you can search it out here. Say I'm looking for lock. All these are the icons which I can use. Say I want to use the lock closed one, this one. So the value or the name is lock closed outline, which I have written it out there. You can use the filled one also, you can use the sharp one also, whichever you like. Okay, so from here you can change the iron icons, you can change the icons, whichever you like. Okay, I'm done with this. Let's see the output, what we get. Okay, great. So this is almost similar to the design which we have built already. Okay, now what is the next step? We need to write this keep me signed in. Let's work on it. So how we are going to do that? We'll create a row after the iron item, iron row, and let's give some margin bottom to it, and margin bottom. Oops. Now within our ion row, we will have an ion column whose size will be 6. Then within that ion column, what I'm going to have, I'll simply pass an ion note. Text written in it will be keep me signed in. Let's check it out. Okay, it is coming up. So the next thing is to pass an ion icon which is check circle, but this is not clickable. We are unable to change it up. Okay, so let's work on it first and then we'll decide what needs to be done. So I'll pass an ion icon whose name will be check mark circle outline and the color will be success. Let's see now. Okay, the alignment is not proper, we have to work on that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass a class to my ion column which will be align items, and we are going to work in the SCSS file. Out here, dot align items, within that I'll have ion icon and ion note. What we are going to do with both of the two, we'll display inline block and vertically we'll align it to the middle portion. Let's see if there is any changes to it. As you can see, both are aligned in the same line, right? Then what's the next thing we are going to do? To our ion icon, we are going to apply some margin right, say 1 BW, and the font size is going to be 1.1 REM. Let's check it out. Okay, that's great. So this is done for our ion items, for our align item class. So the design is done properly now. The next thing which we are going to have is the login button. Let's design all the things first and then I'll explain what is the use of doing this. So even now I can tell you, keep me signed in. So if you try to click on this button, you can see nothing is happening because we have not given any click event. But what we can do is, we can show out here one more ion icon and the name will be, which is the cross one maybe. So I'm going to use this ion icon when somebody clicks on the earlier one. Let's give the color to be danger. Okay, and how I'm going to access that? So out here I'm going to use a flag called stay sign in, which is of type boolean and the value is true initially. Okay, now what I'm going to do, out here I'm going to pass some condition, say if stay signed in, and the next one will exist only if this is false or doesn't exist. Okay, so now you will see that we have a check mark circle ion icon showing it up here. Okay, and let's give some click event to that so that we can see how it changes. So I will just give a click event and pass on a function called change status and change it to true always. Similarly, when change it to false when someone clicks on that, and on the other hand, if someone clicks on this cross one, it will change to true. Basically we are toggling the things up. Okay, now I'll simply pass this function out here, and whatever the value is passed in the parameter, I'm going to simply initialize this to the value. Okay, now let's check it out. Now if I click on this, it changes to the cross one. Again, if I click on it, it changes to the checkmark circle icon, right? So that's a cool image. It's a cool icon toggle which we are using. Looking great, right? Awesome. Let's move ahead and design our login button. So in order to make it, we will be using an iron button. Iron button, the color is success, expand block. Let's give the size to be large. What more property do we need? Let's just check it once, then we will decide if we need to give any other property to that or not. Okay, looks great, but I think it's a little bigger. Right, let's change the size of it. Let's keep it normal only. I'll just remove this size. Okay, looking pretty small now. And the color of success is not the one which is out here maybe. Let's just check it out. Let's go to our variable.scss and search for our success color. We need to change this color. So how we are going to do that? Let's go to our color generator. I'm going to write here success and let's give a color of 22AB, then again 22. This is the color which I need. I'll just copy it up and paste it out here. We'll align it properly. Let's check it now whether there is any change or not. I need to change it out here. I'm making some mistakes. Pardon me for that. Okay, the color has changed. Now this is bigger, right? And the one which we have is smaller. So I think we have to pass the size as large only. Let's work on that again. So let's get the size to be larger one. Let's check it out now. Okay, looks good. And the next thing which we need to work on is the forget password. This one, right? And then at the footer we need this. Let's work on it quickly. So after our iron button, I'll simply have an iron text in which I'll just center it up first. Within that we will have a p tag, and the p tag will hold an iron note which will read forgot password, then a space, and then I'm going to have an iron text. The color will be success and it reads click over here. We won't give the working of it, just to show it out. Let's see now. Okay, great, it's coming up. What about the iron text? Save it twice or thrice so that it can be seen out here. We'll work on the design later on. Let's just put everything in place at first. The next thing we need to work on the iron footer. Within the iron footer, I'll have an iron toolbar. Same color will be full dark, and everything will be aligned to center. Within our iron toolbar, I'm going to have an iron note that's gonna read don't have an account. Then we are going to have an iron text. Color will be success, and out here we are going to write sign up here. Now let's work on the design. I want the text to be a little smaller. So how am I going to do that? Let's work on the footer first. So iron footer, iron text, and the size, font size will be 0.8 rem. Let's see what changes it shows up in the iron footer. Okay, you can see the size, the font size is reduced. Similarly, for our p tag in the forget password, let's work on that too. So how we are going to do that? That is present in our iron list. So let's do it after our iron list. We'll call the p tag and give it a font size of 0.8 rem, and let's give some padding top also to this of say 1dh. Let's check it out. So the design is properly done. You can see it is almost the same or exactly the same. Now the next thing which we need to build up is this screen. So there are not much of a change, few things which we need to work on. Let's do that. So we have two options. Either we can change it out here, or we can create another page where we'll make all the changes. So for your convenience, I'm going to create another page. I need to page new login design. Most of the things in between these two designs is almost the same. What changes do we have? Just this part is a change, and the text out here will be changed. I think most of them are almost the same. So let's work on it. So we have created a new page. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to redirect every time, not to the home page now, to the login, new login design page. How we are going to do that? In my routing, I'll simply pass out here, instead of home, I'll simply pass new login design. So every time I'm trying to open up, it will redirect me to new login design page, as you can see out here, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy all the stars from my home page to the new login design page. Let's copy everything up first, then we will make changes out here. We need to pass ng on init function because it implements on init from class. Okay, interface. Okay, now let's check it out. You can see the same design, right? One thing is missing. Okay, great, we have the same design. Let's make the changes now. We do not have any footer out here, and the text which was in the footer earlier is present up in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy this up and paste it out here and remove my ion footer. Okay, now to my ion content, let's just check it out first. We can see this coming up. Now from my ion content, I'll remove this color. Great, and pass on that color out here in the ion label, full dark. Okay, now for the ion item, I'll not pass any color, so I'll simply remove it up. And to my ion icon, I'll pass a color of light or medium. Medium is more visible. Just hit Ctrl S twice or thrice and it will show up. Okay, great. Now what is the next step? I think we need to show the lines, so I'll simply remove this. Lines equals to null. Instead of that, I'll write, instead of none, I'll pass full. So this is another property value which we can use. So you can see the border is coming up nicely, right? Next thing, what do we need? Instead of keep me signed in, we have to write remember me, and we need to have a forget password out here. Okay, other things are same, which we have already done. Let's work on that now. I'll simply copy it up and paste it again. We don't need any ion icon. Out here we'll write forgot password, and the color is success. Now out here I'm going to write remember me. Let's check it now. We need to press Ctrl S or Command S for Mac users. Great, it's coming up, but there is a mild issue that we need to align it to the rightmost part. So what I'm going to do, this ion node, I'm going to wrap it up within a div, and to this div I'm going to pass the alignment to the right side. Okay, similarly I'll pass div out here also. Align will be left, and paste all the things. Let us check the output again. Great, it is showing up nicely now, right? I think we have achieved what we needed. Okay, looks fine to me. Everything is aligned properly. Great. So we have successfully built up this login screens. Thank you very much. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.